Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'll take a look at both the technical price action as well as the fundamental upcoming news to suggest why Kaspa's price is about to skyrocket. You do not want to miss out on this insane opportunity and time is running out very quickly. If you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing as I'm trying to hit 1000 subs by mid-June. Anyway, let's get into it. One very intriguing element of Kaspa's price action right now is that it seems to be following a perfect 8-month fractal. Shout out to Miko Jenner, by the way, for doing some research into this. But for your information, this chart is divided into 8-month sections that are then subdivided into 4-month sections. So, the fractal begins with a major bottom after a major peak. Then we see a pump up to a minor peak that is then followed by a correction down to a minor bottom. In the second half of the 8-month cycle, we then see a huge pump up to the major peak. This then corrects downward to a major bottom which lines up with the beginning of the next 8-month cycle. We can see this pattern again and again. Major bottom, minor peak, minor bottom, major peak. And again, major bottom, minor peak, minor bottom, and that is where we are right now. June 10th marks the day that we enter the second half of this 8-month cycle, meaning that we will very soon be seeing a major peak, likely at some point between late June or July. Ultimately, this technical 8-month cycle is extremely bullish, as we are literally on the verge of entering the next huge pump phase to reach the next major top. Secondly is this Kaspa rainbow chart, also by Miko Jenner. We can use the rainbow lines to assess the risk level of buying Kas at each specific price. Each colour represents the different degree of risk for buying, with maroon representing the highest risk area to be buying, while navy represents the lowest risk area to be buying Kaspa. Looking at the chart, we can see that we have just breached the light blue line, suggesting that buying Kas right now is relatively still a low risk move. However, this accumulation area that we have been in for almost 2 months looks like it's carrying out a reversal at the moment and price is beginning to pump. So the time to be packing your Kaspa bags is still perfect right now, around this 15 to 16, 17 cents range. Additionally, looking at the power law charts, we can see that Kaspa is held above the lower band of the line extremely well, making it pretty obvious that this range is the bottom and the reversal has begun and a new all-time high is on its way very, very soon. With the recent bounce up, we can see that the reversal has already begun, so your time to buy at this cheap price is really running out. This July, we could be seeing Kaspa's price anywhere between 30 cents to 60 cents, so buying Kaspa now is the perfect time. Anyway, moving on to other news. The Kaspa hash rate has recently hit an all-time high of 314 petahash per second, which is very bullish. Hash rate is effectively the amount of computational power used by miners on the network. The reason hash rate is so important is because the higher the hash rate, the more secure and more resistant Kaspa's network is to attacks. Currently, Kaspa is the third most expensive network to attack in the entire crypto market after Bitcoin and Litecoin. This is extremely bullish as it shows how incredibly secure this relatively new coin really is. In addition to security, having a high hash rate also attracts more miners to mine Kaspa, consequently promoting greater decentralization. On top of that, we can also see a correlation of Kaspa's increasing hash rate with its increasing price from this logarithmic chart here. The Kaspa price is the grey line, while the hash rate is the blue line. We can see that whenever the hash rate overtakes above the price line, it is then followed by a large price pump to re-overtake the hash rate line. Given that the hash rate line is currently above the price, we could be very, very close to a major pump to break through the hash rate line. Right, now, at the moment, Kaspa's network is gradually undergoing a migration in its codebase from Go language to Rust language. This migration to Rust is extremely bullish for Kaspa, as Rust ultimately allows the network to be more robust and scalable. In particular, once we have completed the migration to Rust, Kaspa will soon increase its blocks per second speed by 10 times, from 1 block per second to a whopping 10 block per second, as you can see on screen here, making it extremely fast. Just a fact to show you how fast this really is, 10 blocks per second is exactly 6,000 times the speed of Bitcoin that does 1 block per 10 minutes. Having a look at the Rust migration, it began in late March, and right now in June, 90% of the nodes have migrated from Go to Rust, so only a small 10% of the nodes are remaining, meaning that we are ever closer to achieving 10 blocks per second. This leads me on to my next point. I highly believe that we will have our first Tier 1 listing for Kaspa spot trading once migration has been completed. Having a Tier 1 exchange listing is huge because it opens the floodgate for other Tier 1s to list Kaspa as well. And the more Tier 1s we have, the more retail customers we have to buy Kaspa, pumping the price and making us early investors rich. Most likely we could see Kaspa spot listing on Binance and Kraken first, since they have already got Kaspa listed on futures trading. There was in fact a recent video leaked in which Kaspa listing on Binance was seen on TV screens in a nightclub. However, some have suggested that this was likely a community member renting out the screens to promote this, trying to draw attention towards Kaspa so Binance does finally list it. These Tier 1 central exchanges have most likely just been waiting for the perfect time to list it. And since I believe, given that Kaspa is already in the top 30, it is without a doubt that these Tier 1s already know about Kaspa, and they likely have been buying up their Kaspa liquidity, and are most likely just waiting for the perfect time to list it. And since I believe that a major Kaspa pump is coming in July, then we could see multiple Tier 1 exchanges listing it then too. Finally, let's discuss the KRC20. Created by the Kasplex team, the KRC20, as many of you who have been keeping up to date with Kaspa would have heard of, is setting out to allow for the creation of tokens and smart contracts on top of Kaspa's network. Ultimately, the KRC20 is the foundation of the Kaspa ecosystem. It is currently in its testnet phase, but when mainnet releases, hopefully towards the end of the year, this will be incredibly bullish for Kaspa since it will mark the birth of the ecosystem. Already there have been many meme coins set to be the forerunners of the Kaspa ecosystem, including Kaspa the Ghost of Kaspa, Kaspa Cats, Kasta Coin, and a few more that I'm sure will conduct a lot of hype once they are launched as well. So, due to Ethereum's high fees and Solana's congestion that causes failed transactions, Kaspa with the KRC20 and smart contracts will ultimately be the most attractive place for developers, users and traders, and will likely cause the death of the other two inferior chains. It is extremely scalable, secure and decentralized. Kaspa is the first ever trilemma solver. Overall, it is clear that there is a culminating number of factors which are setting Kaspa off to skyrocket in July, and it is very exciting times for Kaspa holders. If you don't have any Kaspa, I do urge you that this is the best opportunity right now to buy, as time is running out and we are still in a relatively cheap range. Especially when looking into 2025, we could see prices of $2, $3, maybe even $5. As I record this video, in fact, we have seen a steep rise for Kaspa of 20% today, all the way up to 17 cents. This indicates that hype is beginning to grow again for Kaspa, and we will likely be testing new all-time highs very soon. I want to know in the comments below how bullish you guys are, and when exactly you guys think that Kaspa will hit these new all-time highs. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. As I said earlier, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by mid-June, so please subscribe if you haven't already. Check out this video on my channel to find out how much Kaspa you need to retire, and watch this Kaspa Explained video to get a more detailed summary of the project. Follow me on Twitter or X to get daily updates and alpha on a range of the best crypto projects. Also, please like the video if you enjoyed. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.